It will come as no surprise that I do not use these terms to describe myself. I don't understand it, but I'm blessed and grateful. There's way too much smoke going right now, but the fact is, I thought this thing wasn't going to be making any smoke because I didn't think the laser was working again. CA glue as an epoxy, and getting ready to sand, started to sand again. I did get a little bit down in the epoxy, so hopefully it'll help me with the fill some. But I think this is turning out really solid. So I won't make you watch sanding. How about that? I'll do it myself. You don't have to help. I think this board is ready. That CA glue seems to have made it solid. So I ran sanding pads over this again. Oak, sometimes has these little hollows in them, and the more you sand, the more you reveal. But this is the side I'm going to use, and I'm going to start from cutting from the bottom here to make some more Nazarene circles. We'll see how this turns out in a minute. Interesting development here. Okay, this one is out, and I haven't cleaned it up. It needs to be sanded a little bit. Need to run the alcohol wipe on it. This one is interesting. This is the line where the glue went in, and it's solid, but something cracked next to it. Now, what's really nice about this is that that's actually going to glue up fine. I can put some CA glue on that, and I don't think you'll even be able to tell. This piece is a little trickier. The crack there that you can see, but same thing, that can come together. A little vise or a little pair of clamps, some CA glue will bring that together just fine. And the other thing I was wondering about was whether or not the CA glue was going to cut, and it cut just fine, including, let's see, must be upside down, there we go, including the dot of the eye, cut right through that line, and I think I must have that upside down. Let's see, this is better. Yeah, there it is. Okay, now let's see if we can piece these two. Let's put this here, and this one, and then here's this ring, and uh-oh, something underneath. Oh, that's tight. And I think there. Okay, now that should go in pretty easily because it's cracked. There's that. And what did I decide? It's like this. Yeah, I think so. So then it's just a question of lining the line back up here all the way up through there. Yeah, I think that's right. That's a pretty nice color contrast. Let's I'm actually going to do a bit of sanding on this one too, so that it'll fit in there a little bit better. The laser stopped again, and this has been a recurring theme lately, that here's what we've got after all the shouting. This does not want to go back on real easily. It's actually burnt a little bit on the ring. Possibly it got moved just a hair while I was running multiple passes. So we need to sand that down, and then we need to clean the whole thing up. So first of all, let's get it so we can get this back inside, and just run a scrap of sandpaper just to take the rough edge off. I think that there's a little nib there, actually, right in that spot. And as long as we're here, we'll run it on the outside just to tell, that's a little, not just sooty, but it's a little sticky, so the sap is just enough sap left to kind of make it a thing. Now these are all set to come out, not too not too much difficulty, and that's good. We want a nice tight fit. So let's also, though, go around the ring here. Well, anyway, here are the 4 pieces, and that one's going to have to be a custom fit, it looks like. Yeah, this one needs a little love. Okay, no problem. We will get back to that. All right, real quick, just to show how this can clean up the wood again. I'm really glad that experiment worked out with this piece of oak to do the CA glue. That vein there that's running down is the CA glue, and it held up and it cut. That was interesting to find out also. Okay, very nice. Now, no stain on it yet, just getting it clean with the alcohol. And so let's do the rest of them, and I would like to I think I'd like to stain them up today. I haven't done that yet with the others I've done, but I think these are ready for some stain here in a few minutes. Well, things maybe got a little bit out of hand here. I found a piece of scrap cherry that I could just barely fit that circle into, and so I went ahead and did another one. Right now I'm cutting base plates that can go under these to stabilize them. I can glue to the base plate, and several possibilities. One is just to sand it down flat, and that's okay, that's good. The other is to leave some that have the indent, have the inlay look, and then maybe with a couple I could experiment, like with the ones that had the outer ring is higher, I could experiment with some epoxy infill. So lots of potential with these and lots of different opportunities. I'm going to grab the base plates and show them. It's kind of funky looking, of course. This center one was a little smaller than the others because that's what I could fit in and still get something out of the insides. So these should be an exact match for the circumference diameter of the ones I've just done today. So I'll need to run one more sheet, so I've got 6. Well, I don't know if I'll get these stained today or not, and I'm not sure I've got all the contrast I want with some of these, like these two here. I'm not sure, maybe there's something else I could do, but I sure do enjoy these pieces, and I think it'll be very interesting to have them finished up, whatever way they turn out. Okay, well, this was good to find out that the laser cutter is still working, and to then be able to move on to a project for my uncle. And I'm looking forward to showing some things about that coming up soon. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Alright, they're not glued up yet, but they have a lemon finish on them, and I think I'm going to call this good for this week's video. Really, not all of them are turning out fantastic, but some of them are really turning out kind of cool. So let's see how they go when they're all solid together. Thanks again for watching. It will come as no surprise that I do not use these terms to describe myself. On the contrary, it is the project that I think is finally solid and hopefully ready. Little slab of some thick lumber as a weight, and then a ream of paper as a weight, and then some tools. And let's see how these turned out. The glue was pretty old and kind of nasty, but I think it's solid. And what was kind of interesting was I found, by switching around some of the cuts, I found some that were almost flush, so there could be a little bit of sanding, and they're going to be just about flush from the beginning. So there's a little bit of a gap there, but that could be sanded. And also I could use some dark CA glue to fill in some of these gaps if I think I need to. But the pads that they're put on turned out pretty well, and I do like the color contrast. So we've got some oak pieces here with some cherry, and then I think the look turned out pretty good. Now I've just used the lemon polish on this, and if I sand it, I could get down to the point where I could actually use a regular stain. I'm kind of interested in that because I think a clear or basic oak stain would really pull out some more color. So I may do that. But the interesting thing was I wanted to find out if I could get these on and get them solid, and cutting out the plywood backing turned out to be a good way to really keep everything in place. I've got a couple of others that I plan to glue up that are on sizes that are a little bit different, and I'll probably run the router around the edges. I'm also thinking about rounding these. Like I could maybe round it off on the top, round the bottom. I'm not sure. I'll experiment with something that won't get too messed up, but these turned out very nicely. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with them or what I'm going to use them for yet. I don't know that I really want to use them as coasters or anything, but and I'm trying to learn how to do these inlays, and this was good practice for it while I'm still learning. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'd love to know what you think of these, what your thoughts or comments might be on these. Thanks. Please like and subscribe, and have a great week. Keep burning bright.